everything looks perfect. I am 100% sure that this is going to happen, and it has happened to a high degree in that place many, many times before. Some of the best bone fishing I've ever seen has happened right there where we were. He didn't like it at all. He took off. What the heck, man?
We'd seen all those bonnet sharks, and I look at that shoreline, and I'm like, and it took me a hesitation. I was like, what is redfish?
Dang, that's a good fish.
That is a monster.
Wow, this reminds me of tournament days, man.
Yeah, man.
Oh! Yeah! Come on, come on. Oh! He ate it! He ate it! He ate it! Nice, baby! Yeah, that's what I'm talking about!
I thought you said you had
I got him, relax.
Oh, dude, he just ripped my boat off. Oh! Awesome, look at that big boy. Woo!
The Hawks Cay Saltwater Experience, presented by Yellowfin, with Captain Tom Rowland and Captain Rich Tudor.
I love going down there, everywhere from Big Pine all the way down to Key West. And I love taking you down there because, you know, you got the upper keys and, you know, Key Largo, the middle keys, kind of Marathon where we are, and then the lower keys down there. And it's just a little different. The bottom gets a little bit harder, and the navigation gets a little more tricky, and therefore you have a few less people generally than you might in the upper keys or the middle keys. And if you have somebody that's trailering a boat down, they've got to pass all the boat ramps in Key Largo. They got to pass all of this. They got to, here's a wonderful resort that you can stay at, and it's keep your boat right here. And again, you're just passing all of these great places to fish. And so I just see that there's less and less traffic as you move further down.
So what are you thinking?
I think we run up to the contents.
Yeah?
Fish that Gulf Edge right away.
Bonefish?
So much. Yeah, bonefish, permit, maybe some little tarpon. I don't know, who knows? Whatever else we get into, there's pilchards right there. I think it's a good day for exploring. It's one of my favorite places to fish in an area that I have spent a lot of time is that area between Big Pine and Key West. And so I wanted to take you down there. The bone fishing's been very good.
Yeah, that's all year. That's where I've heard every report that I've heard of good bone fishing has been down that way. I mean, we got a few around here, but I mean, I've just been hearing these outstanding reports everywhere from Big Pine to Key West on the Gulf side.
And we go out to an area that I really like, and we're fishing out in front of the Gulf side edge. The tide is dead low. It's so low that you can see all the birds walking around. You can see the flat. We're obviously out there very early. I look at my GPS, and we've got the Florida Marine tracks in there, so you can see, you know, the perfect visual of the aerial photos. You can see exactly what you're looking for. You can see where every little white spot is. You can see everything. I have all these coral heads marked all the way down. And so we just started, I'm like, well, look, it's too shallow to get up there right now. Let's ease down these coral heads, and maybe we catch a permit. Coral heads to your right.
Something swirled out.
There's a fish on it, right there, I see it. Watch yourself. Oh, and there he goes. I just landed on his head. Go to the coral head. There are gonna be fish on every one of these, dude. We missed that one, but we gotta be ready. All right, let's go to the next one. That was 100%. What we found is that the light was just low enough to where, you know, we were getting up there, and sure enough, we were seeing them. They were doing their thing, but we weren't seeing them. We weren't seeing them just far enough out to get a cast to them. Yeah, just a little too late. So we mess around with that, and then roll around to position ourselves on the flat so that when the tide comes up, we're going to be in the perfect position to intercept the bonefish that are coming up onto the flat. Something right here, barracuda or a bonefish. Okay, bonefish going away right here, further to the right, to the right, to the right, to the right, right. Throw it right there, going across the white sand. Okay, two of them. Okay, it's coming to it. He's gonna eat it. He's gonna eat it. He's running right to you. Did he eat? I thought he was running right to you. Oh, you're in front. You're in front of him again. Oh, you're in front of him. You're definitely in front of him. He didn't like it at all. He took off. What the heck, man? Everything looks perfect. I am 100% sure that this is going to happen, and it has happened to a high degree in that place many, many times before. Some of the best bone fishing I've ever seen has happened right there where we were. Well, for whatever reason, not that day. God, this looks so good. Why are we not seeing them here?
Well, I'll tell you what, if there was a bonefish school up here, we would see it.
It doesn't get any better than this right here. All we need is fish.
Just add fish.
Dang, that's a good fish.
That is a monster.
Wow, this reminds me of tournament days, man.
Yeah, man.
The Hawks Cay Saltwater Experience, presented by Yellowfin, is brought to you in part by Hawks Cay Resort, the only key you'll need. Lowrance, America's #1 fish finder. Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. YETI, built for the wild. And by Huk, Power Pole, St. Croix Rods, and Vibe.
I took you to some incredible flats where if it was happening at all, we would have seen 2 or 3, right? On a good day, you might get 20 shots there. On just a day where it's just kind of happening, maybe you see 2 or 3 fish and maybe they're a little ways off and you don't get shots at them. But for whatever reason, we just weren't seeing very many fish. So that started getting my wheels turning. Okay, well, if they're not here, where would they be? And you had mentioned, well, I guess if I was fishing back home, I would just look for the places where it would be the absolute shallowest, the places where you think, man, I don't want to go over there because I'm going to run aground, or the places where you're normally fishing on a low tide and that's dry. Because we had these huge tides, I started getting my wheels turning. Okay, where are the places that would be the absolute shallowest places that I know? And we started checking those places off. Ray, shark, ray, shark, bonnet shark. Next thing you're supposed to say is bonefish.
Bonefish.
Sure is a lot of activity in here for no bonefish. I think we're gonna see one. A lot of mud. A lot of mud in here. And so we started getting into that shallower and shallower water, and we're starting to see a little bit more of what we're after. Here's a permit here, here's a permit there.
When you stopped at that last spot, to me, that was the end of the road. It was as far back as you could get. You could see the creeks, basically ended right there. The fish were as far back into that backcountry as you said, and you were saying that this is the spots that you can only get to on these tides.
We're in the bonnet sharks, man. Three of them, 4 of them. Bonnet sharks everywhere. Wow, look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bonnet sharks, 7 bonnet sharks. The bonnets are swarming. Look at that. Holy cow.
Yeah. The difference in life, it was night and day. I mean, we'd seen a couple sharks here, a couple rays there, but when we got in there, I mean, it was just like, whoa, bonnethead, ooh, shark, and you were always saying
right.
Life, if you're seeing rays, if you're seeing sharks, and you're seeing a lot of activity, even if it's not the species you're looking for, it's starting to happen. And as soon as that happened, that tide changed, we were coming around that one island, and we'd seen all those bonnet sharks, and I look at that shoreline, and I'm like, and it took me a hesitation, I was like, what is, redfish?
You see where he went?
Just slid down the shoreline. Needlefish ate half of me.
He came out right here.
I can probably get another shot on him.
Good.
He's a big one. I mean, I was totally surprised. I was expecting to see a bonefish, and I was, my mind almost did a double take. Is that what I think it is? It took me a while to register. That's a redfish, and I got excited, cast in there, missed him, and then you made a good cast right in front of him and hooked up with a redfish, man, a big one.
We're gonna catch these. There he is.
All right. Get him out of the stumps there. Big redfish, huh?
Yeah, there's a bunch of them in there. Not just the one. I was a little bit surprised that we were seeing redfish, but I wasn't surprised that we were seeing them back in there. And I thought on that first one, it's a single. That's probably what we're gonna see. But go up there a little bit further, and
yeah, man. I mean, you hooked up with this. You hooked up with that fish, and you're fighting him, and he's trying to get you in the mangroves, and you had him out, and you had him back in, and as you're fighting that, you're seeing another one. I couldn't see him from down low. You were up high.
You see them all? Going to the right of my fish. Much further.
I can't see
Get it
anything.
back. They're gonna come back.
Just get yours in.
I'm really having a hard time with these bushes.
Here, he's all around that thing.
Oh, crap. Okay.
But you know, that redfish ears ended up getting in those mangroves and sawing you off and breaking that off. But you know, the exciting part was there were so many more. There were so many more. We power poled down, we got set back up, and it was an incredible school of fish. It was so neat watching how they were reacting. They were just kind of sleeking around these islands, coming, you know, around that shoreline. They weren't getting way under the mangroves, but they were just kind of staying on the edge of that island, going back and forth, and almost a little routine. Back and forth. And we'd get a shot at them, you know, and it was one of these situations where they were not eating right away. They were definitely spooky. And we did a good thing. We trolling motored out a little bit of ways, you know, and power pulled down, and really we started being patient, waiting for a really good shot, because they didn't eat it unless it was perfect.
Dang, that's a good fish.
That is a monster.
Wow, this reminds me of tournament days, man.
Yeah, man.
I don't have a net today. Yes.
Very, very cool. Come all the way down to the lower keys to catch a redfish. Man, that's a monster.
Nice.
Wow, that is a good one. Wow, nice job, dude.
Yes. Man, I gotta take a look at that guy. Wow. That one was, we had to work way too hard for that guy.
Wow. Very nice. How about that? Lower keys redfish.
Not just lower keys redfish, but lower keys hard bottom bonefish spot.
Wow.
Finicky, dude.
Wow.
The thing's every bit as hard to catch as a bonefish.
That was what it took.
Awesome.
It's just too deep out there, and then you came in here and...
Oh, there's a shark right here.
Wow.
Before you let him go.
That is beautiful. Nice
coming
job,
in
dude.
hot. Thanks.
Very nice.
That shark's coming in hot. That was just like our tournament fishing, man. That brought back a lot of memories right there. Really did. Look how pretty he is in that clear water. God. Tell you what, man. Serious fish. There's 30 or 40 of them over there. Let's see if we can maybe get one more.
Out of all the redfish I catch, you know, really the lower keys is the last place that, you know, I would think that catching a redfish. We'd go back to Flamingo, we'd go back, you know, into the Everglades somewhere. You know, so it was a total surprise.
What was interesting too about that school is that there were also these sharks that were there. I think the sharks, more so than even us, were causing those fish to move up and down that shoreline.
Good point.
And we could see the fish coming, and the sharks would just go right through the middle of them. And what would happen is sometimes the whole school would break up, and then sometimes they would even just follow the sharks. But those sharks would just go right through the middle of the school. And not like they were trying to eat one, but just being sharks, just going right through. I can go wherever I want to, and then the redfish would just peel around. And then one fish just takes the lead. Oh, it's time to go down here, fellas. Everybody follows, and then that's when we're getting our shot.
Okay, they're turning back around. They're right there. Got him.
Do you really? Nice job. Nice job, dude. Nice job. Man.
And you either have to surf it in or get it real close.
Yeah, because they're not picking it up off the bottom. That's the real key.
Yeah.
You're in good shape now.
Man, I gotta say.
That is awesome.
I did not see those well at all. They like, you know how like, you could see just a little bit and then it goes into the glare? They had just gotten in the glare and then I guessed. I was just like, okay, I guess it's right there.
You guessed right.
And honestly, you know how I just caught that little snapper or whatever just a minute ago?
Thought it was the same thing?
It was about the same little thump bite.
What a really cool environment to catch a redfish, huh? Wow. and then seeing the way they look. I guess it's because they're on the lighter bottom, but they were a lighter whitish with a little orange tint to them.
They're living over basically white sand.
In a very, you know, light and orange, very unique.
I wonder, you know, I've got this measure. Let's measure that guy.
Oh, this one might be slot. He's a little smaller than your first one. Yeah.
How big is he?
He's gonna be 26 and a half.
26, you think?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, feel it.
Remember those days of just hoping at this moment, hoping that he was gonna make the the fat one.
Yeah. Yeah, look at that. He's about 25.
Well, it depends. Remember, there were two different ways.
Yeah.
You got him like this with this a pinch tail. So there he's what, 27, and then we did the other type of tournaments. It was a spread tail.
Yeah.
Look how much difference there is.
Think about all the ground you covered, and you know most of it was pretty slow, pretty sluggish, not a lot of life. And then we get to this one area, and there was so much life going on. I mean, it was totally happening. The switch flip.
It starts to make sense that if they weren't in all those other areas, then they were all in the areas like that one. We just happened to find one, but it was like that all over.
So that is such a great fish. If we were in the tournaments, maybe that one would be.
Next time we have a Key West redfish tournament, huh? We don't have too many redfish tournaments in Key West.
Nope.
I thought you brought me down here to catch bonefish and permit today.
Here in the Florida Keys, we're super lucky that we have so many different species to fish for, and each one of these fish lives in different places. Oftentimes it takes different kinds of boats to get to these different places. One day we might fish in a skiff, another day we might fish in the bay boat like this, even another day we might be towing our 36 yellowfin. We'll go up and down the Keys, so we'll use the trailer often, and the trailer hitch becomes an integral part of what we do. Each one of my trailers has a different size ball. B&W has a trailer hitch which has 3 different size balls, and you can get them in the size for your trailer so that I can keep this one trailer hitch on my truck, and I know that I can tow my 36, a 24, or a skiff by pulling right up to the boat ramp and just rotating the ball. This one's called the tow and stow. The tow part is obviously the 3 balls and the different sizes. The stow part, this is the best part of the whole thing. You can take this down, roll it around on the other side so that you don't come across the tailgate and hit this thing with your shin, because it is made to tow these boats perfectly, and it is not going to give when you kick it with your shin. I happen to know that. It hurts really badly, so I always put mine on the other underside and on the back side if I'm not towing, so nobody kicks a trailer hitch anymore and everybody's happy. Check out the B&W Tow and Stow Hitch. Get one that'll fit every boat in your life.
The Hawks Cay Saltwater Experience, presented by Yellowfin, is brought to you in part by Yellowfin, only in a Yellowfin. Mercury Marine, go boldly. MotorGuide. And by Daiwa, Ameritrail, Nikon, B&W Trailer Hitches, and Florida Marine Tracks.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching the show. You know, we'd like to get to know you better, carry on the conversation, and the best way to do that is follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Thing we were originally wanting to catch was bonefish,
right?
And you had gone to that spot looking for bonefish, and it was, you know, it was just amazing how the switch flipped.
Yeah.
We got to the right area where we were way back as far as anything, and that tide, that high tide started to fall out. The redfish turned on, the sharks were everywhere, the rays were everywhere, and it was just a matter of time. You knew that that's where the bonefish lived, but once we rounded that corner, I mean, boom, I look in front of me, and there's this school of bonefish, 20 of them sitting right there in front of me. I almost freaked out because I hadn't seen a bonefish all day long, and I was like, bonefish! Oh, I got it.
Good shot, man. Those are bones.
He ate right off my hook. I missed him.
I'm in.
You got him?
Here they all go, man. They're all over the place. Just scattering around. Woohoo!
Nice job, dude.
There's nothing like that run right there.
That was rewarding because we had looked for bonefish all day long. And then, you know, sometimes when that happens, you're just kind of like, man, I thought they were going to be here. I thought they were going to be there. I thought they were going to be in all of these places that we were looking in. And most days they are under those conditions. But for whatever reason, you know, it happens a lot that they know more than, I mean, they're fish and we're people and we don't know the same things.
That was so cool. That was so cool. Right when we were saying there was so much life and there had to be something else in here with those bonnet sharks, there they were.
That's awesome.
Yes. Yes.
It's awesome, man. Lower Keys bonefish. We got our red bone. That is a nice fish, man. He's not small.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, grab him, he's slippery. He did the upside downer. That is awesome. Very, very, very cool.